when we think about ultimately where we're trying to go as a society, we're at a very interesting point, and we see different features of this play out on the news on a regular basis, right? I mean, and this can include things from climate change to prevalence and risk of pandemics. This can include things like our interface with disease. And the first thing I think we have to recognize is we have to be brought together to think about how we can make our existence on this earth a sustainable one, right? We only have one planet, at least where we sit today. And I don't think we're looking at colonizing another planet anytime soon. So we have to be very intentional about what that means. We have to be very intentional about how do we think about mitigating climate change. And regardless of the political arguments or things along those lines, we have to think about what does it mean that storm intensity has been increasing? What does it mean that water levels may be causing floods on more frequent bases? What does it mean that there's more frequent wildfires in California on a regular basis? And of course, I'm just talking about in this country. This is around the globe. What does it mean if things like the Gulf Stream starts slowing down, right? What does it mean? There's a whole set of implications that come out of that. And so from the first instance, when I think about responsible bioinnovation, we have to think about what is the future that we want to deliver, that we want to deliver in our lifetimes, that we want our kids, our grandkids, and beyond to be able to experience. We have to think about what's the world we want them to inherit. And I believe it's our responsibility to give them a better world than we inherited. And the burden that's on us on that is we have some really exciting and powerful tools to do that. So yes, on one hand, we have to be safe and we have to be smart and we have to be thoughtful. And I think if we align though on the right goals, we can actually get ourselves to some pretty interesting potential transformations. So I tend to think that if we're right-minded about things, we can pick the right sort of intentionality. And yes, we have to put security, we have to put defenses, we have to put protection around things. But I worry sometimes that our fear of what might not be perfect, what might not be controllable, what might happen, stops us and stops others from being able to unlock some potentially powerful innovation in its nascency. And of course, there's always going to be bad actors. We've always seen this, but I think this is one of those sorts of things where unlocking power of some of these technologies, I don't think we've even been able to appreciate the tip of the iceberg that it might start representing. And I think, you know, if we start creating the commons, the right rules, the right discussions, but having these in plain sight, right? Open sharing, open communication, open intentionality, this can be very powerful for us all. And I say this in the context of AI, right? Because even in the context of AI, in some cases, people get nervous from it. But AI is used in so many different contexts. AI can be used by search engines to help you figure out what toilet paper you prefer or other such things, but on a consumer side. But in terms of healthcare, the power of AI is one where it doesn't actually access your personal data. It's not actually accessing your financial data. It's not actually putting you at risk, but it's helping to understand what are better opportunities that might exist to enable therapeutic benefit. And it's a therapeutic benefit that you don't know you necessarily need right now. That's where I think this gets really exciting. If we can think about that future where we're open to the power of innovation, I see us as being able to work with people in a highly responsible way and enable the future that they want. And the problem is, if we wait until people have a disease, it just might be too late to find the intervention for them.